Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Previously on the Living Artist Podcast.
Wait. We're not a TV series. We don't do previously.
The Living Artist Podcast is brought to you by Chomps. Get your chomp back.
No. We don't do food product advertising. Oh, here we go. Sit up, yo.
Alright, stop.
I don't even know what to say about that one. That is stupid.
Next time on a very important episode of the Living Artist Podcast.
Wait a minute. It's over? Just like that?
Yes, then on the series finale of Lost, Jack
Wait a minute. What?
and John Locke finally face
Lost?
off in a final showdown.
That's like
The secrets of the
25
island
years ago.
finally being revealed.
You know what? I give up. Just enjoy the episode, Billet Fibers.
Wow. Embarrassing. Yes, definitely embarrassing. No, hard to follow that one, but I'm going to do my darndest. Chomps, if you're listening, that advertisement jingle is available for you to purchase for a hefty fee. But, my wife and I kind of make fun of that and do that at home sometimes. So I thought I'd throw it on the podcast. Why not? Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I do apologize for being a little bit late. I am doing this one same day. Had some treatments that knocked me back a few weeks in my progress, and I definitely had some really bad neurological symptoms and brain swelling and word recall problems and stuff like that. So, it was pretty bleak. So I wasn't really able to record anything new. So here we are coming to you now. And I thought I would do a little 7-year itch, as we talked about in the past, while I got the energy. And the 7-year itch, what is that? Well, it's just in commemoration of 7 seasons of the Living Artist Podcast. We are on season number 7, if you can believe. I can't believe it, looking back. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the 7 years and a few things that I have learned in the process, and maybe some things that you can take away from the podcast and, put it in your back pocket and save it for a rainy day. Yes, sound effects right on cue as always. Riders on the storm. Yeah, so let's get into the first one. And some of these are kind of rehashings of things that I have learned or, visited over the years and that I'm revisiting as something that really just kind of has stuck with me and has kind of come into a new light going through stuff that I've been going through. And that is fake it till you make it. You might be like, yeah, fake it till you make it. But really, that is such a broad thing, and it can be used for in so many circumstances, I should say. For example, with me right now, today, waking up in a really horrible brain fog, dealing with this illness, going, I don't think I can do the podcast. I force myself to get up and do some wacky intro stuff, with my energy. And you'd think, yes, it's going to deplete your energy. But you know what? It actually feeds me with some energy because I'm faking some sort of energetic intro, like, oh, I'm actually well, I'm doing this. I'm okay to do this podcast. And I end up having some fun with it. And it kind of fakes this energy into this place where I'm not like healed or anything, obviously, but it gets me through and gives me a little energy to keep going with the podcast and keep keep putting out this content. And, I do feel a little bit better for whatever, an hour or two afterwards, because I have forced myself to dig deep and fake this energy into reality. It's almost like a manifestation or a transmutation, if you will. And that is so powerful that we have the ability to do stuff like that. It's almost like the placebo effect, right? There are always 30% plus of people who get well on a placebo, and that's just the power of the mind. And yeah, it doesn't always get you there. It doesn't get you over the finish line with stuff, but it does get you to a place where you can kind of hack some of these circumstances. And in your art, faking it till you make it can be a state of mind. It can be like, you might be struggling. You might be in your studio apartment, or you might be in the corner of your room with your easel and, thinking like, oh man, how am I ever going to get past this stage of my art career? Well, you fake it till you make it. That's how you fake it. You fake the mindset. That's what I did for so many years. I was building up my studio in my little studio apartment, and I had to fake that feeling until I made it. I had to be kind of larger than life in my own mind, going like, yeah, that's right. This is all, like, for example, this is all going to be a great story later on, that kind of rags to riches, 10-year overnight success story. This is going to be awesome. And in my own mind, I was already a success. And that is so powerful. And it is a faking it till you make it in your own mind. It's not to the world. I think a lot of people think fake it till you make it means, I'm going to just go out there and put out false videos and reels of me like living the high life, and they stand by a Bentley or something like, yeah, this is my car. This is my Bentley. Well, obviously it's not your car and your Bentley. You're living in a studio apartment. That's kind of like a false fake it till you make it. I mean, if that gives you juice and energy to keep going and like to be able to visualize better, that's fine. I would argue do that on your own time. Don't put that out there as false success on social media. But, if it helps you in your own mind, great. If you can do that in your own time and just go drive around neighborhoods that remind you of like, oh yes, this is where I want to be. This is my goal. I'm picturing myself here. That is a form of fake it till you make it. But it's really about a mindset, faking it till you make it in your own mind, like seeing yourself as a success. When I would do my paintings in the past, and yes, I was drinking at the time, but it was almost like this like mystical experience. I would finish a painting and I would be delirious after like 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours of painting on my, day off, when I would be able to really complete a large painting. And I was doing like kind of realistic or surrealistic paintings at the time. And I would be done and I would be so delirious that I would almost feel like, I was so connected to this mystical realm of like, success and other artists who've come before me. And, I could just see these things going out there into the world and becoming, and me becoming something larger than I was at the time. And you might think that that's silly. And, I'm obviously sharing this with you very openly and honestly on this podcast, but, it helped me and it worked. I mean, I was able to end up quitting my job and becoming a full-time artist and selling work to places all over the world and collectors all over the world for, tens of thousands of dollars. And, for me, that was huge. And I spent a lot of years. I spent, 15 to 20 years in extreme poverty, but I was faking it till I made it in my own mind. And just keep doing that, because you know what? First of all, you're going to feel better about yourself in that moment. Like I feel better right now. I might not feel better in an hour, but I feel better right now just faking this energy and this sharing this motivation and, this mindset with you right now. I am faking an energy at the moment that is getting me through it and making me feel somewhat better in this moment. And that's powerful. So if you can do that in your own mind, you've already won. You've won the game. Like you are successful in your own mind. You can see yourself there. And you know what? It's kind of fun. It's like you've become the hero of your own story. It's this hero's journey in your own mind. And I guarantee you'll look back on it at some point and you'll almost miss it. So understand the power of doing this in your own mind. And I mean, by the way, looking back on this with success, making more money, having more, commitments and issues and problems, you'll look back on this time where you have been maybe in poverty, or maybe your career is not where you want it to be, but there's this power of being able to visualize in your mind and do this stuff like a grassroots kind of campaign for yourself of becoming a successful household name or just a successful full-time artist. That is a powerful, magical time, and enjoy it, soak it up, and live in the moment. That's one. And that was actually pretty long. So I probably won't do a bunch of these, but I will share one more for this special 7-year itch episode. And yes, I'm aware that 7-year itch has a negative connotation. It's typically used in marriages when you kind of hit that 7-year mark and you're like, have that itch of like, oh, is this really working? That's not what I'm using this 7-year itch as. It's just, like I said, to commemorate 7 years of the podcast. And, hey, it's a catchy title. There's some power in that. So little bonus tip there. Nothing like a little catchy title. What are we going to focus on for the last one for this episode? Well, I'm kind of doing these off the cuff because I do really feel like there is some power in just being in the moment and letting the words flow. I don't really premeditate any of this stuff at all. I never have. And it served me well in this process of being very ill because I don't really have that extra energy to do it. So I would encourage a lot of you to focus on that a bit more. This might be another little bonus one, but focus on not knowing, not pre-planning so much of your stuff, even if that's in the studio, on the canvas, or whatever medium you're working on. I would challenge you to do a bit of like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to put myself out there and trust my skill and my intuition and my subconscious to really get the job done. And I think you'll find a deep well or a power source that you really were unaware of previously to that. So previously on the Living Artist Podcast. Yeah. So this last one is going to be about, what I've learned over the years with guests. Like I've had over, I think, close to 40 interviews on this podcast back when I was able to interview people. And, I hope to be able to interview people in the future as well if I get over this. But it's one thing that I think if I could synthesize it down to one thing for this special 7-year episode, it is that no two artists are the same or have had any of the same trajectories. There are things, there are skills, there are goals, there are mindsets, there are techniques that are the same or similar, but we all filter that through our own unique lens, and we use it in the way that fits us and our unique epigenetics and our unique mindset and our upbringing and, our history and our traumas and all this stuff. It becomes like a different skill for each individual artist. And no artist made it the same. No two artists made it the same. And, it's interesting because it's like, well, then what can I learn from this? What you can learn is you can take some of that as inspiration and find it and utilize it as a way to come up with and brainstorm and find your own ideas and find your own way to kind of mold something in a way that fits into your lifestyle and that you can use as a springboard into your own success. It doesn't mean to just try to do a carbon copy. That never works. And that's the problem with a lot of art books and a lot of gurus and a lot of this stuff is people tell you, well, this is the way you do it. This is what you got to do. You got to take this step and then this step and this step. When I tried any of that stuff, it never worked for me. Even now, there was no blueprint for what I'm going through right now. And if I didn't know how to adapt and evolve and change and just kind of restructure my life where I've been like in this chronic illness, I haven't been able to like leave the house, I would be, done already. But because I can adapt and because I've learned those skills, I have learned how to keep myself afloat throughout this process. And hopefully I will rise above and become a stronger artist and person in the future. But that's the same thing for you. Don't just listen to everything and go, okay, I'm going to do exactly what so-and-so did. I'm going to, work in a restaurant and then I'm going to, I'm going to be an intern at a gallery and no, there's no robotic, blueprint that we can all follow to find success in our art careers. And you know what? I think that is empowering. It's not like, I think a lot of people think that as, oh, well, screw it then. I've got nothing to follow. No, it's empowering. It means that you can find your own way to do things in your own individualized, unique way with your own individualized, unique experiences and mindset and techniques and traits and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. I think that is so empowering. And when I learned that, when I discovered that, it was so nice because it was like, yeah, you know what? I can just do my own thing. I don't have to for example, community. There's so many things in this world nowadays about even in longevity and in chronic illness and in the art world and getting ahead, being an entrepreneur, being an artist. Like you have to build community. I will agree with that on some level. You do have to build community, but they're almost making it into this end all be all. And I've always found my best motivation when I have been able to lock myself in a room. This is the same with my illness too. When I'm able to lock myself in a room and draw from my own deep well of energy and inspiration direction and come up with my own strategies, that's where I've always been able to do my best work, cutting out the noise, figuring out where I want to go with my art or with my health, and then just setting my sights on that and getting laser focused on that without the distraction, without the other people. And, for me, there's been a lot of stuff with people that have ended up like bringing me down along the process. It doesn't mean you don't need people. Of course you do. You need a community. You need, somebody in your corner. That can be one person. It can be your loved one. It can be your spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your partner. It's just one person in your corner. That's all you need. And if you don't have that right now, maybe you had somebody in the past that was that way. And you can, kind of utilize the memories of that person and go, you know what? Yeah, my grandmother was the one person who really believed in me and she knew that I can make it. And, you can just use that and remember that and honor that memory. Or maybe, even if you don't have something like that and it's really bleak, you can go to groups or you can use podcasts. Like I said, you can use people in your life who you listen to and you digest. And yes, gurus and yes, motivational speakers or podcasts or just entertainment, and use that as a feeling of community to give you that springboard to good energy and good ideas. It doesn't have to be the way one person says. If one longevity person says, well, if you don't have community, science says that you're going to die 7 years early. Well, it doesn't mean that that's you. There are outliers to everything. And you can be that outlier in any circumstance. You can be that person who forged their own path, found their own way, found what worked for them, and became an empowering story for another person. Because if you just listen to everything that everybody says out there of what you need to do, it's like paralysis by analysis. Or, what do I do? Like, do I have to do this? And I got to fit this into my schedule. And then, I didn't do this. I didn't do my breath work this morning. And I didn't go out and support that. You just can really put yourself into a box and cause a lot of negative energy, or at very least undue stress that you don't need. So, take it from me. There are very good things to learn from each person. And even all my interviews, I go back and I listen to them. I've been putting little mashups right now while I've been struggling. And it's been interesting to listen and re-listen to these interviews, because some of it is just like, yeah, this was great. What a great idea. What a great guest. But it's all been something as a reminder for me too, that, you know what? Their path was not my path. And I can take little things that I need, but I really need to forge my own path. And that is empowering at the end of the day. It's so exciting to know that we don't have to follow any set of rules or guidelines, and we can just find a way to be a success on our own terms. And you can define those terms too. It doesn't have to be household name. It doesn't have to be multimillionaire. It doesn't have to be reality show star, with the Bentley in the garage. It doesn't have to be all that. It can be whatever. You can be a success because you are creating work every day and you're putting it out there and people love your work. That can be success for you as well. Success can be that you are able to do enough to provide for your family. Whatever that means for you, if it means you can be this solo phenom where you're just like self-sufficient and doing your own thing and living your best life on your own, that's great too. Success can be, on your own terms. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Hope you enjoyed this little 7-year itch episode. I think I'm going to take this little bit of fake it till you make it energy that I've manufactured during this episode, and I'm going to go throw it into a treatment and hopefully feel a little bit better today. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody else in your lives. And we will see you next time on the next episode. All right. Bye-bye.
Then, on a very
Hang on. I'm going to stop you right there. We've already done this bit. I hope you enjoyed this 7-year itch episode, everybody. I got a 7-year itch that I got to scratch. Play us out, chumps.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.